You're listening to The Audacity Effect, where bold moves, real talk, and zero permission slips are just how we do things.
We're Jenna and Kelly, two corporate pros building bigger lives on our terms and helping you do the same.
Whether you're launching something new or burning down what no longer fits,
we've got stories, strategies, and sarcasm to match. Let's get audacious.
Bold moves, real talk, no permission slips. Gotta give him my all. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do with this. There is no blueprint, just my audacity. Done with permission. My dreams might need a pivot, might need a new scheme. Call it Audacity Effect.
I have a new name for you to call me.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Easy.
Sneezy. So I read today that tree pollen will be at its highest tomorrow. So not that you needed that info, but I think it's important for you to know. So maybe you might want to take a little extra Claritin or something.
My whole body is itchy. My feet are itchy. My parts are itchy. My head is itchy. My eyes are itchy.
Now I'm itchy thinking about it.
I know. My stomach's been like, ugh. My stomach hasn't been itchy, but it hasn't felt right.
That was literally my next question. Is your belly itchy inside?
I don't know. It was super nauseous on Thursday. I thought I was going to die. I can be tough with most things, but if I was super nauseous all day. Like I was about to present on a call and like I was getting these like waves and it was like hanging in there, like doing my breathing exercises. And then as soon as they called on me, I was like, hold on.
Oh no.
It was so terrible. But I think it's because my stomach was itchy inside.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Have you taken a Benadryl? Have you heard of these things?
I take I have Allegros, the 12-hour ones. Okay, but I don't like taking them unless I have to because then they make me really hungry. And all I want to do is eat snacks. And then that makes me sad. And then my tummy's hungry because it's too full of snacks.
So now we have a really big problem. Okay, I see how this goes. Okay, well.
Win for losing.
Win for losing.
Maybe my name should be Sadness. What's the sad door?
It was, what's
Saddy.
Moby? Was it Moby? Dope. No, that was Dopey.
That was Dopey. I could also take Benadryl instead of like Zyrtec.
Was he depressy like that? That feels
We're
right.
making up our own divorce. Icky, Saddy. Anyway, how are you? What's for you?
Oh my gosh, I'm great over here.
Good.
I'm really good. I had a good weekend and it's beautiful out and sat down at the Cavalier and had a glass of Sauvignon Blanc in the ocean. It was really lovely. It was just a good day. It's been a good day.
Good.
It's been a really, really good day. So I had this thing happen to me that I kind of want to talk about.
Tell me about your thing. I hope it wasn't itchy.
No, it was not itchy, but I asked a question. I posed a question. If you could ask women anything, right? What would that be?
If you could ask a woman anything, is that what you said?
Yeah, like women as a whole.
Okay.
What would that be? And the question was, why do women expect men to provide? And so my first reaction in my mind was, who are you talking to?
Like, I do expect you to provide the D when I need it, but like otherwise.
Yeah, otherwise. And then I thought about every woman in my life. And I don't know one that falls into that category, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of got me to thinking, like, what kind of assumption are you making? And like, where is that coming from, right?
Yep.
So, because this just has not been my experience. And I truly wanted to say, who do you know? Like, that was
it's no one in my circle, let me tell you what.
It's no one in my circle. And so I started, well, one, I do kind of want to get into that, but also like zooming out, it's interesting how people find something that lends to whatever theory that is, and they hang on to it from one experience or from a past, past relationships,
Yep.
or even, I mean, we can even get into like social media, and what you're seeing on social media, and so I just, I wonder like how much of what we have decided for ourselves is based on assumption and like overgeneralization. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think probably a lot. And we're hashing this out a little bit earlier, but it seems like I can certainly raise my hand and say I'm guilty of this anyway. But I like to hold on to negative experience assumptions that
Yeah.
all men are mansplainers, not like because I mean not maybe. Sorry guys, that's probably true, kind of. That might be a like accurate generalization.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But right, if you have like an ex that was terrible and always put you down or something, it's all men put women down. Men don't respect women. Versus maybe you had a great experience. It doesn't have to be with men, right? But like insert experience A and it was positive.
Yes.
That's not the one that you sort of fixate on and then apply a universal label to everyone going forward. At least not past the age of like 6.
Yeah. Yeah. You gave a good example. What was the one you gave? Like instead of all, why do women, oh yeah, you said, why is it that women expect men to provide, as opposed to why are all women like independent and
Oh, yes.
ambitious? And yeah, and so you're right about that.
Yep.
That's very, very true.
Yeah,
So
yeah. If you experience a woman that's needy versus 7 of the other women you experience are independent and on their own, like how come you fixated on the one that was negative in your mind anyway?
yeah,
Although I think some men want women to be dependent on them, but that's
can we just go into that for a little bit for a second?
yeah.
I don't know what, I really don't have any reference to this, like of why a woman would want to be with a man that's just providing, like to be with him for provision. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know anyone like that, because everyone I know is, the women in our circle are ambitious. They are go-getters. They can definitely take care of themselves if they needed to. Like they are figure outable people. Like they take care. Like I don't know any of this. So what do you think? Like, help me out with this part.
So I think some of it could be conditioned, right? Especially if you grew up in like a very religious circle where it's the man
Mhm,
is the provider
mhm.
and the woman is, so maybe it's cultural in a way or societal. I think there's probably some biology to it in a way. If you are a woman and you are birthing babies and you're pregnant, like you can't go and hunt and gather, right? Because you're
Mhm.
knocked up with a big giant basketball belly. So you do need someone to go take care of things while you're tending the children. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, by the way, if that's what you want to do, because I think there's still a lot of, say, maybe traditional families where the woman is like the stay-at-home mom and then the
Yeah.
man goes out and earns the money and does the thing. And if that works and it's like symbiotic for you, that's great. So I think in those instances, when you told me this example though, and maybe we should define what we mean by why do women just expect men to take care of them? I hear that as a woman that's sort of financially taking advantage of the man in
Yes.
her life and just wants to be able to go to Pilates and drink mimosas and do whatever, maybe not be a full-time active involved mom, but sort of wants to have their cake and eat it too, and wants
Yes.
to use their womanly wiles to infer that the man, is responsible for keeping them in the lap of luxury.
Mhm.
Um, but I think as much as maybe this is a sidebar for another time, but as much as, like, being a woman and, like, womanly beauty is weaponized against us, we were also sort of taught, at least in culture, that you can use it to get what you want. And maybe you can't go in the boardroom and be powerful, but you can use your sex appeal and your beauty to get what you want out of men because they're weak. So, I don't know, I just threw out a lot of different stuff there, but, I mean,
Mhm.
I can see how it happens. I think it's interesting when it's happening to a man and he does not want it to happen, because I think there's probably some men that like that. It makes them feel powerful and in
Yes.
control. But when it happens to you and you don't want it to, and I think it will happen more and more and more now as more time goes on, right? Because
Mhm.
it's becoming less and less common to
Yeah.
be a quote unquote stay-at-home mom, and then it being a single income household that's almost, well, again, I'm speaking from our circles, but
Mhm.
I don't know of that happening much anymore.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I don't, and I think, like, that original question is rooted in, like, the fear of being valued only for money,
Sure.
or the
Yes.
pressure to perform financially, and one of the things that he said is that, like, women don't understand the pressure that men are under, and,
No, I've said
the
that same thing.
pressure to, like, perform, the pressure to provide, the pressure that all of these expectations are set. It's a lot of them unspoken, set on them to be able to take care of things. And so I think that kind of imbalance and the concern about the imbalance, like, all of that, I think plays a huge part
Sure.
in the question, but it also is a ginormous generalization that is really antiquated. It's outdated, honestly, because most households are not single income households, you know?
No, I think I've seen, and maybe not so much hands-on, but secondary, like, in the military, I think maybe that is a little more
Mhm,
common.
mhm.
And maybe the wife works, but their income is, like, incidental and helps with birthday presents or things like
Yes.
I lost my train of thought. I think that I would imagine, I guess I don't know, so I don't wanna use a generalization on our anti-generalization episode, but
Yeah.
I would imagine it feels more that way when the partnership is not symbiotic, like, it's not balanced. So,
Mhm,
I found myself saying before, I feel so much pressure because if I don't do well and I can't financially provide, then it's a lot of pressure because I felt,
mhm,
well, I mean, we both, like, I am in a double income household for sure, but for a while it
mhm.
was tilted more towards my side of things, and we balanced the partnership out in other ways besides money, but there is a certain amount, I've at least put that on myself and felt that it's a lot. Feels like
Yeah.
everything is on your shoulders, but it feels less like that when the partnership is balanced. So I almost feel like
Mm,
if you're feeling that way and feeling so much pressure to provide and you don't feel like it's, I don't know, quid pro quo or that it's equal, I think that
yeah.
that feels heavier and it feels more like people are demanding and expecting things of you
Mhm.
versus, "This is my role, I'm good at this, so this is what I contribute to this partnership."
Yep.
I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm just kinda
It does make sense. So, just getting back to it, the assumptions and such, I think that it's really difficult to I think it is not difficult, but almost like it's not responsible to make an assumption on a small population of people. Like, if you know 5 people that are like that, that's not good. That's not good times. If this is based on, like, past relationships, that's like, what, 6 maybe? Like, that's not a good sampling. And a lot of times, like, the sampling comes from social media too,
Sure.
and, like, what you're seeing on your feed. So if you start to interact with something on your feed, people, just an FYI to you, you will start seeing more of that, and that becomes
Algorithm will get you.
yes, and then the algorithm will get you, and that becomes more and more of your feed. So
Yep.
that's a part of it too, but again, that's a tiny, tiny sampling. I just I think it's unfortunate to make those generalizations towards the opposite sex, It really is, and it taints your view of them as well.
Yeah. You don't give it every
Um
shot. And I don't we're not gonna talk about this today, but I just wanna throw it out there for food for thought. I think the same thing happens with politics. It's
Mhm.
very us versus them, and
Yep.
that's part of why the country is the way it is, whatever side of the political spectrum you fall on.
Mhm.
It's not every Republican is this and every Democrat is that. It's simply not. That's the narrative that's pushed to drive people further apart and avoid unity. And so I think maybe that's an extreme version, but maybe a bit more tangible if you don't feel like you have preconceived notions about the opposite gender. The same thing happens, right? You have more and more split and division between men and women because to your exact point, like you come in with these preconceived notions and biases of what the other person is, what their motivations are, why they're doing what they're doing, what they're trying
Mhm.
to get. If I don't know, pretend I'm a man and my name is Billy, and I'm dating you. If I come in and every time you say something, I'm looking at through this lens of, well, Kelly just wants me to provide for her all the time, then that's just it's gonna skew everything, right?
Every yeah, excuse everything. I was also thinking about when we were thinking about this topic, how speaking of assumptions, one of my friends, her daughter likes to wear makeup because it's fun and
Mm,
it's pretty and she just enjoys it. And her grandfather said something along the lines of, like, "You don't need all those boys looking at you like that," or "You don't need the boys to you don't need the makeup on for the boys to look at you," something along those lines, but under the, assumption that she was putting the makeup on for the boys to look at her, and, it kinda, like, brought on the men assume that a lot of things that women do is for them, like, it's
so
about them, it's to catch them, and so
yeah.
for me, like, I like to get dressed every day. That's important to me. I like to put on makeup every day. And I mean, it's not like I don't do a full face because, oh my God, I don't know who I can't do that. That's
That's
just
too
not
much
what I do.
time. You guys sleep? If you
So
put on a full face of makeup, please send me the
it's
rest
time.
of your day and, like, how you book your time. I'm impressed. I have
I
questions.
don't know. But I mean, like, I'm a 3 minutes kind of girl. But I like to put on makeup and
Mhm.
it has nothing to do with anyone else other than how I feel about me and
Yep.
how I want to present myself. And it is so interesting that, people, men in general, think that it's for them. I remember when I was working at Ford and I
Different about them. I mean, I'm making a generalization, but that's because I think this one's true again.
well, I was working at Ford and, like, I would get dressed every day for work. I mean, I wouldn't come in looking haggard and awful, like, who does that? Like, I never did that. And so
Me.
someone and so at at the end of the day, like, I would, like, zhuzh up and on my before I went home, and they're like, "Why do you put on makeup to go home?" And I was like, "I put on makeup because I want to. It has nothing to do with the fucking people here, and also, I don't like any of these people, so if I'm putting it on for anybody, like, it should be for the people at my house." You know what I mean? Like, it's it's definitely not for these jerks, like
That's funny. And I wonder if that skews because when you're a teenage girl anyway, from my recollection of being one, which was a very long time ago, but also yesterday, I think sometimes when you're told that, like, maybe I just wanted to, like, play with makeup because it's fun, right? Or you're a girl, or you're not a girl, you're just a human and you think makeup sounds interesting, but then as soon as someone tells you why you're doing it, it's just to attract men's attention. You don't need to do that yet, that's for older people, like, you turn it into I think it almost subconsciously can turn into something that is something you're doing for yourself because you enjoy it,
Mhm.
like an art form or something, right? Into, like you said, like a man trap, and I I guess I've
Yeah.
never put a ton of thought I mean, I've certainly like, you can't dress that way because you're tempting the men, you can't do that.
Oh, don't even talk to me about shoulders. My God, the shoulders are so sexual. Keep going.
You know why, Adam ate the apple?
Mm.
Eve's shoulders were showing.
She tempted him with her shoulders, that's it.
It wasn't her boobs, wasn't her butt, it wasn't her
No,
leg.
the shoulders. There wasn't 2 inches of fabric on her
Ah,
shoulders.
and I do like some good shoulders, like
Yeah,
muscle.
yep, so that's it. But yeah, it is so interesting the judgments that people make based off of a small subset of people.
Mhm.
I was thinking about how with the girls and makeup. So I was told, like, you cannot wear makeup. Like, you don't need to wear makeup was my
First of all, what does that mean? Does that mean if no one tells you you don't need to wear makeup, then you're really ugly and you should wear
I don't
makeup? Is that what that means?
listen, this is what I grew up with, girl. I'm just giving you what I know.
Well, I mean, I had the same thing, but I was wondering, like, are you trying to tell me I'm not ugly? Like, what are
Am
we
I
doing here?
ugly? Like, what does that mean? You don't need makeup. You shouldn't wear makeup. You aren't allowed to wear it. And so consequently, like, I was curious, and so I'm in school putting on makeup because my other friend's parents said it was okay, and I'm trying to take it off before I get home, and now I look like a raccoon. Like, it was just a nightmare. It was a it was a nightmare situation, and, like, I didn't know how to put on makeup, and thank God I went to an all-girls high school because I learned so much there. Otherwise, I would have just been looking like a clown for a very, very long time,
Or you
and
just don't wear any like me and wait till you're 37 to get eyebrows on your face.
so then, like, with the girls, like, when the girls were shown any, like, remote interest in makeup, like, I got them a caboodle because, throwback. I got them a big caboodle, and we put a bunch of makeup in there so that they could play with it and enjoy it and have fun with it, and not that it was a thing that they are doing to attract men, right? At a certain age, like, you probably should not have a full face, 12, probably not. So, like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna take it back a little bit, but should they learn how to put on makeup?
Sure.
Ye Why not? They were interested in it. So, and that was like a point of disparity for my family, by the way, too. I mean, the way I raise my kids it's kinda crazy, according to my family, but, like, the assumption that I am getting dressed for, putting on makeup for
Mhm.
a man's attention is absurd to me.
Mhm.
Like, that couldn't be
Men
further
don't
from
even
the truth.
really like makeup.
Hmm?
The funny part, men don't even usually really like makeup.
No.
I think when you're a little kid, to your point, like, it can make you look older, and we want to stay away from over-sexualizing teenage girls, which is
Sure.
already happening because the world is a scary, terrible place, and it shouldn't be
Mhm.
that way, but it is. So, in some of these things it's not the same thing as what we're talking about because it's not making
Mhm.
assumptions, but it's, like, balancing, like, you shouldn't assume that because I'm wearing a short skirt that I want it, right? But sometimes that's just the reality of the scary world that we live in, so you do have to be cautious, and while you should be able to wear a short skirt and a bikini top around if you want to, like, you can, but that's not super safe depending on where you are. So, like, there's that element to it, but that's
So
not what we're talking.
but that's the problem with those kind of assumptions. The assumption is that it is in a female's, a girl's responsibility to asexualize herself so that men won't be tempted, which is
Right.
insane to me. It is just, it makes me so mad. It pisses me off so badly because w- what are we doing to our sons? What are we teaching them? Are we
Clearly not.
teaching them that, good luck, let's hope the women cover their shoulders so that you won't be tempted to attack them sexually and hump them
I
because, dear God, their shoulders. Like, what? One of the things that we were told in school is like, your skirt has to come to like your knee, and if you put your two fingers at
Finger yeah.
kneecap, if it's shorter than two fingers above your kneecap, then it's too short. Like, what? Why
Yes,
do I have to
we
look
all
like
have
this?
to live in a world where we're living for the pedophiles, the convenience of the pedophiles that live in it for certain. But
Right.
but how do you I know again, I know this is a separate topic, but I just wanna say it out loud so people know
Mhm.
that we're saying it. That should not be. Unfortunately, it's not because you show your shoulder or you wear a skirt that went below your fingers, but you still, unfortunately, as a female in the world, have to be careful and cautious because there are a lot of scary, creepy people out there. So it's less about what you wear and more about being aware of your surroundings and make sure you're not, being by yourself. Like you weren't not going to get attacked in the parking garage if your shoulder was showing and now it wasn't. Like that's not the differentiator. But there's this I don't know. I don't know how to reconcile some of the stuff in my head because some things are, like, it's not fair and it's not right and it's not how it should be, but, like, I should be able to get in an Uber at night and not be worried about it. I'm not getting in any freaking Ubers. Have you seen all the stuff about women getting kidnapped in Uber?
Well, so now it's like, okay, and I had, oh my God, again, Mila and I had this conversation. I always said to him, I was like, so we parked somewhere. We were somewhere, and it was dark and it was at night, and we like parked on the street, and like we parked and we walked. And I was like, if I were alone, I wouldn't have never parked here. There's
Yeah.
not enough lighting here. It's not close enough to too many people. Like,
Yep.
these are all the things that go through my head
Yes.
Because not only do I have to protect myself and be able to defend the fact that I protected myself in case I get attacked,
Yep.
I need to be able to defend myself that
Correct.
I was in a lit area and there were no white vans and my shirt was
That
below my knee and my
mhm.
shoulder was covered.
Yeah.
Like I have to be able to defend myself and also live.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
Correct.
we're going off on a tangent, which we typically do. But
But
the point,
I think your shoulder could be showing or not showing. You could be dressed like a homeless person or a hoochie mama, and it doesn't matter. Like, you still have to consider all those things because I don't think the criminals are being like, "Ooh, shoulder girl, I'm gonna pick her." No, it's girl that parked in the dark corner that doesn't have her keys out walking to the vehicle, whether she's wearing skater boy shorts or a bikini top. Like, it doesn't
it
necessarily
doesn't
matter.
matter.
So, there are things that we have to be concerned about and think about as women that maybe we shouldn't have to. No, not maybe, that we shouldn't have to, but I
Mhm.
don't think it's what we're wearing. Like, full circle. But that's the narrative. It's not, "You have to be careful in parking lots because it's not safe for you." It's, "Well, you can't wear that because you're going to be asking for it." No, that's not the narrative. That's the wrong thing. It's like, I don't know why it's taken and twisted that way.
Yeah, it's unfortunate and it makes me sick
Do you think it's
that
because it's like a responsibility that we're supposed to have, that it's not any, again, to your point, like, going back a couple couple moments in the transcript here, it's our fault. If you just didn't do that, then this wouldn't have happened. Not, to your point, men need to be educated differently, men need to be taught to behave, and women, unfortunately, we can't help all of them, so you need to not park in the dark corner. It's, well, just don't wear a short skirt, and you're not asking for it, and then maybe that
it's
will
like
happen.
we're responsible for their temptation and also everything else. It is
Safety, yeah.
insane.
Ugh,
It is insane. But I wanna get back to the
assumptions. Yes.
assumptions and why people are making these crazy, crazy assumptions. What is an assumption that you've heard about women that you're like, "What?"
If I don't like somebody, it's because I'm just jealous. If I don't like other female, excuse me. I cannot like
Okay.
other men, that's fine, but if I don't like another female, it's just because 'cause I'm jealous of them or I'm being, like, a dramatic girl.
Not
Uh,
because they're a horrible person.
correct. I'm like, "No, no, no. Hmm. I discriminate fairly. This person just sucks, and they're a terrible human. That's why I don't like them. Or they're
Mhm,
up to no good, or they're shady as shit. That's why I don't like them. Not
mhm.
because they're another girl. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk."
Yeah. Yep, yep. Another assumption that one that I kinda subscribe to, but I shouldn't,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna work my way through it. I'm just gonna be completely honest about it, is that women should not be show w women that are emotional in the workplace are weak.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think
Sorry, no.
that but for me, I'm gonna roll with that because we fought too hard to be seen in the workplace and in corporate America that I'm taking nothing that sets us back. However, I will say that what debunked kind of that assumption for me was the CEO that was at a company that I was at that was a woman, and she was all flowers and light and sunshine and emotions, and she was amazing. She was amazing, and it shed light on, like, that is actually an option if done well.
Well, I was gonna say, but she probably didn't, like, spontaneously combust in explosive tears because she was, "Look, we can all be crying at work, but you gotta go cry in the bathroom or call your best friend and be like, 'I need a minute. Can I have a
Yeah,
little cry sesh?' And you do that on your own time. You don't do it in front of everybody, that's all. Nothing wrong
right.
with crying, but you don't do it in front of the masses. You go have a little moment."
Yeah, that's what a group text is for.
Yeah. Mhm. Or SOS, "Can I call you?" Like, yes.
Yes.
In your car for a sec. It's all good.
Yes. So that was one of the assumptions that I stand by, but also understand how I could be wrong in that.
I have one that I it's not my proudest thing, but speaking all the way back to dress, if I see a chick that has her boobs pushed out and is dressed maybe what some would call slutty, like, I definitely judge that person, and I struggle with like, sex workers, like
Mhm,
strippers, things like that, even if they're empowered, and I struggle with it not because I think that that's inherently wrong by any means, but
mm,
because kind of to your point where I feel like we have fought so hard to be we as women to not be seen as just sexual objects, that to
mhm,
me it sets us back and pushes all of us back into that category of at the core, we're mostly valuable for our sex appeal, and if you don't have that, you're not inherently valuable. And
Mhm.
if I walk into a boardroom full of men and they've just been watching a bunch of chicks with their boobs out on Instagram, like, then they lump me in with that category and just see me as that is my limited value. And I struggle with that because then logically, like the feminist side of me is like, if you want to use your sexuality in whatever way you want, I want you to be able to do that because I think it's empowering. But I feel like it's like the cheap way out because as women, it's not that hard to be sexual because we're such beautiful feminine goddesses, right? And it feels like it's taking the easy way out to have an OnlyFans and just show your titties and get a bunch of money from men because men are easy. And I understand what's wrong with that statement, but if I'm just
Mhm.
being very candid and honest, like I
Yeah.
have I have a hard time with that.
Yeah. So, do you think that it's something that you wanna work on, or you're gonna hang on to it?
I'm gonna hang on to it. I'm probably not gonna let
Mhm.
go.
Mhm.
But if that's what you do and, like, I would love to talk to you about it, like, I can both I think I can hold 2 things in my brain at the same time. I
Yes.
love that for you, and if that makes you feel empowered and that is how you're making millions of dollars off of stupid men, like, I love that for you. I also wish you could do it a different way because for me trying to make it not on my sexualness or my sexuality with another gender that it's very distracted by sexuality,
Mhm.
it feels like it kind of hurts the overall, like, let's raise the glass ceiling.
So, are you more curious about those people, or are you just certain that that's why they're doing it?
What do you mean, why they're doing it? I think they're probably doing it because they can make a lot of money, and why not?
Mhm. I like, but you're not certain that I guess my what I'm getting to is, like, it's not that they're trying to necessarily exploit a stereotype. It's just it's maybe that one person's feeling. Like, I'm thinking about this one dress that I really like, and it's really, really, really cute. And so, to me, and it's form fitting, and you see every curve. You see every single thing. So if you saw me out in that, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it has nothing to do with me exploiting my sexuality. It has everything to do with me, like, I really love how I look in this dress.
I think there's an energy because, like, I would girls would
Mm.
be like, "Oh my god, you look so fucking hot." Like, Jesus Lord, have mercy.
Mhm.
Like, so I love when other women look hot. I'm not like, "Oh, you look hot and you're trying to look hotter than me," and I feel intimidated. I think it's more of an and I guess I should separate it in 2 buckets. There's, like, people that are making money and making their living off of using their sexuality, which is
Yes.
different to me than women that are going out and, like, looking super sexy and hot. And then within that category of women looking sexy and hot, I think it's fine either way, but I think there is an energy and an essence in it that you give off because you just feel so damn good about yourself and you're like, "Hello," versus you actually feel terrible about yourself and you're just looking for attention from oth like, you're dressing for other people instead of for
Mhm.
yourself, and I think
Mhm.
you can sense that. And either one is okay. I don't actually care how you dress. I just wish that you were dressing that way because you felt like $1,000,000 and not because you don't
Mm.
want other
Yeah.
people to make you feel validated. So I should have clarified better. Thank you for teasing that out. If you're a if you're making money from your sexuality, again, like, good for you, I guess. I feel like it sets I feel like it sets women back, but then I also wrestle with, but does it? Like, what's if you could make millions of dollars from having an OnlyFans, would you do it? I don't know. I mean, I'm not that talented, so I don't and I'm not that hot, so I don't think I have an option. But if I could, I don't know that I could say that I wouldn't. So I don't
Yeah.
know that my opinion is actually well informed.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm, mhm.
I want to be okay with it.
Yeah, I and so when I think about that, I think about I was watching I think I was watching some kind of documentary, or I was reading a book, I can't remember which, but it was about a woman who was a sex worker, and she was not a sex worker because she was down and out or
Yeah.
someone placed her in the she did it because it's what she wanted to do and she enjoyed it.
Mhm.
And it was a lot of the assumption
Yeah.
was,
Mhm. Yep.
she was just trying to make it work, and just trying to get as much as she wasn't. She just actually enjoyed being a sex worker.
Yeah.
So I also think that there's again, there are a lot of assumptions that come with that notion too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, that's true. I'm sure I have the assumption if you're doing sex work, I think either you can't do something else or you just could make so much freaking money doing it, and that's easier than working your way up the corporate ladder or starting a business that's not based on how good your boobs look that day. But I don't know. Who am I to say that that's right or wrong? And I don't know what your motivations are. So it's definitely a stereotype or a preconceived notion
yeah.
that I have about it.
So that's like one of the things like I think we should encourage. It was like an individual evaluation versus a group generalization. Like that I think is a big thing because again, going back to the question, why do women think men should provide? Like I don't know those people. And so I think that is a group generalization as opposed to an individual thing.
Well, and how much of the beliefs that say men have about us are our own fault because we perpetuate them. Like
Mhm.
I mean, quite vulnerable saying out loud what I claim to be very feminist. Like, I struggle with like sex workers and that being
Mhm.
acceptable for women. But is am I part of the problem? Like, am I part of the perpetuation that it's not like that if you make your money in some way using your sexuality that you're only a sexual object and that's all that you are because that's a way that you choose to use it? I don't know
Yeah.
if that makes any sense or like beliefs that men have about us. How much is it like that? Because women are not always nice to other women.
No.
So we are kind of sometimes the ones stirring the pot and pushing the narratives out there about each other.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, that's something that I I don't know. I don't know that I wanna change my mind about it. I just wanna be more open-minded about it and be more authentic and honest with myself about where my beliefs come from, and certainly, to your point, evaluate on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, and so more conversations over conclusions and certainty.
100% with everything.
Mhm. Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not about this conversation, you guys, is not about bashing men in any way. It's just a conversation about curiosity and understanding where these assumptions are coming from. And it's like we take a lot of time to hold on to assumptions than the time it takes you actually understand each other, I think, to really like stop and really consider like there are actual people behind these generalizations
Yeah.
and why you're making them, you know?
Mhm.
I don't know. I was fired up about this because my God, we make so many assumptions about
We
people.
do. About each other, men, about other women, about ourselves. I mean, and yeah, to your point, when you stop and break it down and stop saying it's like us versus them, it's every individual person has their own story, and we
Mhm.
stop long enough to give them the opportunity to tell it to us and to evaluate people for their own merits versus what
Yeah,
we think we see. Yeah, it's a good
agreed.
reminder.
So, Hot Squad, Odd Squad,
Mhm.
tell me, what
Please,
kind of
please.
assumptions are you guys making that you're like, damn, when I think about it, it's probably a big ass generalization and
Yeah.
not
And you
necessary.
gotta be, like, real and raw, like, I put myself out there, people, so, like, can you please, don't be like, "Well, I assume that if you're a dog person, you're not a cat person." No, come on.
No. No, no, no. Like, be real. I mean, I put myself out there about corporate and
Mhm.
having soft feelings. I just don't think there's space for it. But I
But
mean, I
convince us otherwise.
yeah.
We're
I
open-minded. I don't know that I'll ever be okay with someone bursting into tears in the middle of a meeting, though, unless, like, you get a phone call that somebody died.
I just don't. I don't want to see it.
Well, it's, like, upsetting. Like, you wouldn't want someone to just start screaming in the middle of a meeting or yelling, expletives. So I think crying can be just as disruptive as, like, yelling and shouting and screaming. It's an emotional outburst, and
Yes, it
give
is like keep it to yourself. But I'm trying to be better about that. I'm trying to be better about
yeah.
understanding. I'm not doing great. P.S. But I'm trying.
That's all we can The first step is saying it out loud.
All right, so tell us, what are your assumptions? We want to hear about those. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. We out of here?
I think we're out of here.
All right. Later, taters.
It would be audacious of you to do a few quick things for you and for us. First, hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Then, share this with someone who needs a little more Audacity in their life. And if you're feeling generous, leave us a review and a 5-star rating. It helps way more than you think. Want more? Head to theaudacityeffect.com for episodes, our favorite things, and merch. And don't be a stranger, come hang out on IG at @the_Audacity_effect.